trailer full of monkeys headed to a lab, and a woman now experiencing health problems after coming in close contact with the primates. The woman says she has been put on preventative medicine for the next 2 weeks, but there are some questions tonight into what these monkeys were being used for and what they could have been infected with.
Look down in more and it pops up some monkey.
Michelle Fallon never thought something like this would happen.
I thought, well, zoo monkeys. You know, I didn't know these were animal test monkeys.
After witnessing a crash on a Pennsylvania highway and stopping to help, she learned the truck was carrying 100 monkeys from East Africa, headed for a Missouri test lab.
I thought they were like okay, like they had their shots, they're good, they've been checked. I didn't know they could have diseases or whatever.
After checking to make sure the driver was okay, she went up to the trailer full of crates, thinking there were cats inside.
They had this like green cloth over, so I peel it back and I go to stick my finger in there to try to pet it, and it pops its head up and I'm like, oh, it's a monkey.
3 of the monkeys escaped in the crash and 1 was recovered. 2 others were put down. But the hours-long escape forced health officials to issue an alert, warning the community not to come into close contact with the primates because the species commonly spreads herpes virus B.
I'm like, well, I was there and I touched everything.
That alert leaving Michelle on edge and unsure of what to do. Her close contact later leading to pink eye and flu-like symptoms.
I walked through their poop, I touched their crates, I tried to pet them, so now I don't know what's going on.
As a precaution, Michelle has now received her first rabies vaccination and has been prescribed antiviral medication as doctors continue to monitor her symptoms.
The location of the CDC quarantine facility where these monkeys were headed and the type of research that they were going to be used for has not been released, but this type of monkey is often used in medical studies.
Yeah, this one involves monkeys on the loose after a crash. We're not making this up. There were 100 monkeys on a truck that crashed. 4 of those monkeys got loose, according to police, and this morning all but 1 of the monkeys have been located. Officials say no one should attempt to look for or capture the animal. The crash happening in Danville, Montour County along Route 54 just last night.
Usual search near Danville. The search is for some monkeys that managed to escape a truck involved in a crash while en route to a lab. WBRE 28, WYOU 22 Eyewitness News reporter Madonna Mantione joins us live in Valley Township with the very latest. Good evening, Madonna.
Good evening, Mark. 4 of those monkeys got loose this afternoon after a truck hauling about 100 of them crashed here on Route 54 near the Danville exit of Interstate 80. Now, State Police and the Game Commission are still on scene, but this story prompted a local animal-loving family to help. When word got out that these 3-pound monkeys were on the loose in Danville Friday night, the Allen family sprang into action.
And we just decided to come and try, see if we could find one.
These Montoursville residents are animal lovers and drove half an hour to search the woods along Route 54 just off Interstate I-80. That's the spot where state police and game wardens searched for the primates.
I saw it on Facebook, and actually it started as kind of a family fun joke about just making an experience and going to try to save a monkey. So I actually brought a kennel, flashlights, night vision goggles.
The bitter cold did not deter their efforts to lend a hand.
And we were worried because my one friend is a state police officer, and she's like, you know, they can't be out there that long. So we were like, oh no.
The Allen family wasn't able to find any of the monkeys, but they might consider adopting one in the future.
Me and my dad saw on an app that we have that like people have pet monkeys, so we really wanted to get one.
Now, game wardens have not yet said if any of the monkeys have been located, but if you do spot one, they are asking the public to keep a distance and call 911, Mark.
Now, earlier, Madonna, you and I were talking that you said you heard some noises coming from the woods. Could you describe what exactly you heard?
Yeah, Mark, we heard about 3 very loud pops coming from this wooded area. Now, we don't know what that was or if it was related to the search, but we will keep you updated both on air and online as this developing story progresses.
And also, Madonna, do we know what the plans are for the search going forward if they don't find the monkeys in the next hour or so?
Well, it's very cold out here tonight, Mark, but we don't know if that plays a factor into the search or if they will be searching tomorrow. Right when we get off this live, we're going to ask officials again to get the updated word.
All right, Madonna Mantione reporting live for us tonight near Danville. Obviously, the sooner those monkeys are found, the better.
Cases of monkeypox worldwide is now 106. Doctors in at least 8 countries, including the U.S., are now treating patients potentially infected with the rare illness. Health officials in New York City are now looking into a possible case 1 day after a Massachusetts man became the country's first confirmed case this year. Doctors say some recent cases include patients who had no travel history to a country where the virus is endemic, suggesting community spread.
Most times there have been outbreaks in Central and West Africa, like Nigeria, for example, and sporadic cases in travelers in the United States.
Now, the U.S. government has reportedly placed a large order with the maker of a vaccine for monkeypox, purchasing enough for 13 million people at a cost of $119 million.
There is an adapted vaccine for monkeypox, but the interesting thing is that if you've been vaccinated with smallpox, you get protection against monkeypox because it's really closely related.
Initial symptoms for monkeypox are fever and chills. A rash and pus-filled lesions show up later. It typically spreads to people from infected animals like rodents, but it can spread through humans by sharing of any bodily fluid. Most of the cases under investigation right now are men who have had sex with men.
I don't think it's really going to run rampant as opposed to smallpox, which is highly transmissible. Even the worst monkeypox so far, one average infected person only infects an additional either 0 to 1 other person.
It is now, unfortunately, monkeypox that is troubling the European countries, along with the US and Australia. And with that, the viral infection has raised an alarm around the world. The map on your screen showing almost a dozen countries that have reported confirmed cases of monkeypox, including European countries like Spain, Portugal, Italy, France, Belgium and Germany. And apart from Europe, the United States, Canada and Australia are some of the other countries that have reported confirmed monkeypox cases. Let us now understand what exactly is monkeypox. To what extent should we be concerned? Monkeypox is a viral infection similar to smallpox. Its origin dating back to 1970. As the name suggests, the disease first emerged in monkeys kept for research in the late 1950s. You can catch the infection if an infected animal bites you, or by touching an infected animal. It is usually spread by rodents like rats, mice, squirrels. Experts have also observed that monkeypox can be transmitted through sexual contact. The disease almost disappeared for 40 years after being eradicated through vaccination in the 1980s, only to re-emerge in Nigeria in 2017. The virus mainly has 2 major strains called the Congo strain and the West African strain. What are the symptoms that you need to watch out for? If you have fever, muscle ache, lesions and chills, then you should get yourself checked. If you are infected, it might take anywhere between 6 to 13 days before the symptoms appear. Currently, there is no specific treatment available for the disease. Considering the unusual outbreak, the World Health Organization has now called for an emergency meet of the experts to discuss the situation.